guys, welcome back to another chapter day series. I hope you guys are doing fine and staying all right. I haven't done a chapter day in the past 2 days, which it's my fault sincerely because I did not make the time, which in a sense makes me feel very guilty about that because we need to make time for God and just to fill ourselves with his word and to do things for him. So that's where the guilt comes from in this situation. But anyways, we're doing it today, and I'm just praying that God gives me more grace to be able to just balance everything and give him the time that he deserves, and just live life at the same point. Anyways, today we're reading First Kings chapter 15, and previously in First Kings we talked about Jeroham's death. So basically Jeroham was the successor for Rehoboam, that's his name, Rehoboam. So Jeroham did what was evil in God's sight, and he did not do good things as a king. Therefore, he died, which is just natural selection. He just died because death is inevitable. But yeah, he's dead. And in today's chapter, First Kings chapter 15, it's 34 verses. It's pretty long and very in depth. It's talking about Abijab, who was evil. He was the successor for Jeroham, and he was evil, but God did not, completely take all his riches for him because of the covenant of David. And this is something that is really a good way to look at when you want to make promises with God. Do not, it's not necessarily saying don't make promises with God, but don't curse out or in a way challenge him with certain things that you cannot keep up to, because we're human. Remember, God made this promise since with David, and from David all the way till now, the successors have all done things that were evil in God's sight, but he has kept that same covenant. But as a human being, we can't do that because we're human beings. We're sinners. We're not perfect. So don't challenge God. If I say don't make a promise with God, it seems like, oh, don't promise that you won't do this thing. Rather, just tell God to give you grace to overcome whatever problem it is or temptation it is that you're going through, because that's just all we can do. Don't try to challenge him or, in a sense, make it look like, okay, I'm doing this for that. No, just tell him to give you grace to overcome whatever problem it is you're going through. So God is still keeping his side of the covenant that he made with David, even as the successors are being evil. Asa was good, and he took out the Sodomites and the idols and burnt the queen's idols. So Asa was the king after Abijah. So he was probably the first king in all the lineage from David that actually did something good. The rest either fell prone to idolism or lost or pride that they got from the Israelites. So yeah, memory verse. I have not done a quiet time for the past 2 days. I have been reading a chapter of the Bible each day, but I still feel that spending that time with God in the morning is just very important because it's a nice way to start the day. It's a good way to start the day. And I feel for me to be able to prep that positioning, I have to wake up early. Therefore, I have to sleep early. So that's where I really want to balance everything out. So hopefully tomorrow, in tomorrow's chapter, I'll be able to do a memory verse, hopefully. I'm really just hoping God gives me grace to be able to do that. Anyways, the memory verse for today is more or less like a teaching. We do not need approval from man, but we need approval from God. There's a verse in the Bible that says, remember that people hated Jesus before they hated you. If people could hate Jesus, God himself in human form, how less us? So when you're preaching about God and you're just filling yourself with his words and spreading word about his kingdom, a lot of people will disagree with you, a lot of people will mock you, a lot of people will set you aside, but you shouldn't let that make you feel less of a Christian or allow that to weaken you or make you feel bad or make you want to stop spreading God's words, because you don't need approval from them. You need approval from God. There's a phrase in the Bible that says, Those who have ears, let them hear. When you speak about God's word, don't ever force someone to choose Christianity. Speak about God. If it sounds pleasing, if it sounds something they really want to do from their heart, they're going to do it. Don't force it. Jesus never, even for once, forced Christianity onto anyone. Doing evangelism, he would walk around and preach about God. He would tell people about God. He would tell people God was coming. He would tell people about how great and awesome God was. But people will disagree with him. Some people agreed, and at the end of the day, those people still stoned him. So you see, he didn't force them for any second. He wanted you to make this decision from your heart, because it's something you need to do from your heart, because you want to show that, okay, I actually appreciate and love God. You know, the verse in Revolution says that even Christians who know the word but keep the words to themselves will go to hell. So if you don't love God truthfully from your heart, you won't be proud of his gospel. You're being lukewarm. That's why it's good to accept him truthfully from your heart. Don't do it because your parents are forcing you to do it, or you're doing it because you're scared of hell, or you're doing it just to stop someone from bugging you. No, do it because you know, I need God. He's the salvation that I need. He's what I need in my life. Do it because you truly want to. So, yeah, that's all for today's memory verse. I hope it was helpful, and I hope tomorrow I can have a memory verse on a particular theme for the day. But yeah, that's all for today, and I pray God gives you peace in your heart and helps you and guides you in all that you do. Bye.